Welcome to a virtual tour of Knock Museum. My name is Grace and I'm delighted to be your guide as we take a lovely tour around the beautiful museum here at Knock Shrine. In the museum we tell the amazing story of what happened here in 1879 when a group of local people from the village witnessed an amazing apparition. They were ordinary people. Knock was a very small village in 1879, and in the museum we take you right back to that year to give you a really good insight to what it was like to live around here in 1879, and we tell the story of Knock in that context. In the museum you see a lovely model of the village showing you exactly what it was like, the small little thatched houses that the witnesses lived in, the parish church, which is still there today and was the focus of the village at that time. And of course, the name of the village in English, Knock, has absolutely no meaning, like many of our towns and villages, but it comes from the Irish Knock, because the church in 1879 was situated on a slightly elevated hill, and that's where its name came from, an Irish Knock, meaning the hill. And after 1879, after the apparition of Our Lady, in Irish it was renamed Knockwerra, which translates as the Hill of Mary. So I think you'll agree it's a much more beautiful name. In the museum also you can go into the thatched house, which is modelled in a house where 5 of the Knock witnesses lived. Typical house for its time, because in 1879 people of Ireland, the majority of them were small tenant farmers paying rent on their houses and their land. In the thatched house you'll see it's a 2-bedroomed house, a kitchen and a bedroom, and these are the kind of houses I always like to think that those people from the village of Knock came out of on that night to witness a most miraculous apparition. In the museum we also capture people's stories and memories, and for me Knock is always about the people who've come here since 1879. Even the wall behind me here is photos from the archives representing almost every decade at Knock since 1879, and every single one of those people brought with them their own personal prayers and petitions, and ever since 1879 people have great faith and belief in prayers that they offer at the Gable Wall where Our Lady appeared in 1879. In the museum we capture some of those stories. People come and they leave lovely handwritten memories and stories of why they come to Knock, what Knock means to them, and why they come back here year after year. We also record many people, so as part of your tour you can pick up a headset and listen to people telling some of their lovely personal stories. Just where I'm standing here you'll see we have 2 very elaborate chairs. The one here on my right is the chair that Pope John Paul II sat on in 1979 when he came here to celebrate the centenary of the apparition. And over here we have the chair where Pope Francis sat in the more recent years in 2018. And I always like to point out Pope Francis' chair only has 3 legs. And just in case, I always feel I should explain that in case people think we're being a bit mean to Pope Francis, giving him a chair with only 3 legs. That chair takes its inspiration. If you went back 100 years ago to every single house in Ireland, you would find 3-legged chairs and 3-legged stools. And the reason for that is that the floors were mud floors, so they were lumpy and bumpy, and it was much easier to stabilise a 3-legged chair than a 4-legged chair. And we chose that for Pope Francis to reflect his humility, the way he leads a very ordinary way of life, and the way he looks out for the marginalised and the impoverished people of the world. Of course, any tour of Knock, or any story to do with Knock, we could never leave out the amazing man that Monsignor James Horan was. He came to Knock, I say, it was a bit like a whirlwind. He came here in 1963, and really most of the buildings that you see around the grounds today were built during his time, including our amazing basilica, one of only 2 in Ireland, and then of course the building of Knock Airport. And I think many people will remember the amazing stories to do with the airport, and we have Monsignor Horan to be thankful for many, many projects here at Knock. To go back to the apparition in 1879, it was a silent apparition. I always like to wonder if a message had been given, what language would have been given in, because in 1879 Ireland there were 3 languages in use. Firstly, Irish was the everyday spoken language. Next, English was starting to come in from more urban areas, and then of course the third Mass was celebrated in Latin. But the beauty of it being a completely silent apparition is that every single one of us can take our own meaning and a message from it. I always like to go back to those ordinary people, the people from the village of Knock, men, women, children, all ages, and when they were asked what meaning they took from it, they said they took it as a sign of hope that Our Lady would appear in a village so small and so ordinary as Knock was at that time. It was a very elaborate apparition, and in 2021 Pope Francis declared Knock an international Marian and Eucharistic shrine. Now the Eucharist is representative of the Lamb in the apparition scene, which you'll see for yourselves is the centre central focus, but every single one of us can take our own meaning and message from it. I hope you enjoy your virtual tour of Knock, and I do hope you'll come on an actual visit at some point in the future. We're open every day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m, and the great news is that admission is free. Thank you.